Gulfstream. This is Next Weather.
Thanks for joining us here on Next Weather. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith, and this is what we're seeing with our headlines across the Gulf Coast. Few evening storms tonight, then quiet overnight. Good news there. Scattered mainly afternoon showers tomorrow, and then we're heating up in our extended forecast with a heat wave building for the region. No formal severe weather risk this evening. Most of that is just east of us over into Walton County, and don't see that either tomorrow. Doesn't mean we won't see one or two warnings, but we are looking at more of a typical pop-up shower and thunderstorm situation here as we get into the next couple of days in the forecast, and the widespread severe weather is not expected. In the tropics, we are looking at two features. One is Tropical Storm Brett, which is an active tropical storm with winds of 65 miles an hour. It is moving west, and we expect this west track to continue into the Caribbean Sea. But you've got to look at the intensity here, and you can see how it's weakening as it goes through the Caribbean, down to 45 miles per hour according to the National Hurricane Center by Saturday in the official forecast. Some of the models rip it apart altogether, so we'll watch it and see what happens there with that one. Also along the intertropical convergence zone, we've got another feature which has got a good chance of developing, and this is really very, very rare to have systems forming in the mid-Atlantic this time of the year, but it's ongoing, and this is likely to form into a depression in the next couple of days, but we do expect it to head up off the northern Leeward Islands and does not look to be an issue for the Gulf of Mexico. What will be an issue for us next week is a heat ridge developing over Texas, which may migrate into our area. We've seen some crazy heat index values to our west, and tomorrow we see scattered showers and storms. Will continue with that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Rain chances start dropping out next week, and the heat starts ramping up. We could be in the middle 90s on Tuesday and Wednesday, and overnight lows will be in the mid 70s next week. So the summertime mugginess will be back. We will see some spotty thunderstorms around the next couple of days, but chances are not as high, and the weather's not expected to be as extreme and severe as it was over the last week or so. Starting to catch a break here across the Gulf Coast with some changes ahead and plenty of heat in your forecast. Yeah, that's what we have there for you in your outlook. And of course, it's not unusual to start talking about heat with the summer solstice starting up. Meteorologist Jennifer Lambers explained what that means coming up.
Can I play? Sure, but you need to bring your own truck. That's not a problem.
The FOX10 Storm Tracker Fleet, taking you live to more places, covering the Gulf Coast like no one else can. Unrivaled experience, unparalleled severe weather coverage.
I think I need a bigger sandbox.
Well, it's the official start of summer, and that means it's the summer solstice. You know, we've already been heating up for a while now, and let's get more information on how that all plays out with meteorologist Jennifer Lambers.
Today is officially the first day of summer, and the reason for that is going to be the summer solstice. Now, before we talk more about that, let's go ahead and talk about today's sunrise and sunset. Well, earlier this morning, the sun rose at 5:51 a.m. and heading later on into this evening, we're expecting it to set at 7:58 p.m. Now, focusing more on the summer solstice, what is it? Well, digging back into early education from what we learned, you'll most likely recognize some of the things with that, and that's going to be the tilt of the Earth at 23.5 degrees. Earth's northern hemisphere, it tilts towards the sun. Now, also, this is going to be the point when the sun is at the highest position in the sky, and so that leads to the longest sunlight that we're going to be seeing during the day. So after today, days are only, unfortunately, going to be getting shorter. Now, what does that look like? Well, this officially occurred earlier this morning at around 9:57 Central Time, and the amount of daylight that we saw, 14 hours and 7 minutes. Now, breaking it down across the nation, really keep in mind the higher that you go in the northern hemisphere, just closer towards Alaska and Canada, that's where days are a lot longer, with even the most northern portions of Alaska seeing 24 hours of daylight so far for today. Now, I know days are going to be getting shorter for the days ahead of us, but just go ahead and soak up some of that sunshine heading into what is now officially the beginning of summer. Reporting in studio, meteorologist Jennifer Lambers, Fox 10 News.
And a long road to recovery expected at Moss Point, Mississippi. Emergency management crews have been there and been checking things out in Jackson County after a tornado in Jackson County. Fox 10's Brendan Kirby has more.
Samantha Williams says she was at home Monday when the storm hit.
And I heard the train coming and all that. It was like choo choo, woo 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 woo, and I was so scared. And then all I heard was all the train track was coming through the Moss Point, coming through the apartment complex.
Williams says when she opened the door, she saw the spiral right in front of her, twirling debris round and round. She spent the night at a Red Cross shelter. A common theme in Moss Point was shock. Folks say they've been through plenty of hurricanes, but weren't prepared for the twister.
I've been going through hurricanes since I was a little boy, since 1979. And we've never had this much destruction through here because, we generally get a warning. But with this, it was no warning.
The tornado demolished homes, ripped off roofs, and knocked down the press box at the Moss Point High School football field. Even heavy railroad crossing signs were no match for the winds. Tuesday, an Army of Mississippi power crews were trying to get the lights back on. Terry Missouri, who owns a snack shop called the Doghouse, says she's glad she told her employee to close up early Monday. This is what she found.
It is off of the foundation. The roof, what was left is on the inside. The floors have buckled up, and it's like tile in the inside, so it's like up. Everything is just thrown around. The refrigerator's tore, the door is off of it.
Deborah Love says she was panicked Monday night when she heard from her son and then couldn't reach him. She says he was trapped in the bathroom on Elder Street. He got out but hurt himself.
He stepped on the board that had a nail in it, so I advise everybody that's getting out and everything, be careful of those nails. It's just so much debris out here and stuff.
Hopefully it stays quiet for a long time to come in Jackson County and around the area. We'll be tracking your extended forecast. Watch out for some heat on the way. More on that coming up.
New to the Fox 10 weather app, your 24-hour radar forecast. Be the first to see how precipitation is going to affect your plants across the Gulf Coast. Detailed hour by hour. The 24-hour radar forecast on the Fox 10 weather app. Plus the latest breaking news with the Fox 10 News app.
Got him.
Stay alert with Fox 10. Prime time is Fox 10 time.
The latest on the night's top stories are first on Fox 10 News at 9.
Wrap up your day informed and ready for the morning.
Here's that extended forecast, and over the next 7 days, the heat will begin to build next week. This weekend looks like the typical June pattern here, as we're going to see scattered showers and storms and highs near 90, but our rain chances are not as extreme, and the heat really builds next week, and it shows up in your 10-day forecast. And you see a number of days next week where we could be in the low to mid 90s and the heat index up above 105, so we're going to watch out for that. Could be a little bit drier next week, too, with that upper ridge pattern building in. Thanks for joining us here on Next Weather.